The Dodgers take on the Braves game 3, and that's going to be a 6:05 p.m. Eastern first pitch in the NLCS. Dodgers down 2-0 in this series. Having said that, though, LA's still the $1.90 favorite in game 3 with a total at 9.5 juice to the under. We're 2-0 in our last 2 extra daily picks on patreon.com/Brock Page, and access to the extra daily pick is just $2.99. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire 2020 season in our NFL tier membership on that site as well. For more information on how you can join in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. Now, Atlanta's the official home team in this matchup here today. They will bat second. They're also catching the generous price of plus $1.55 on the money line. And if you like the Braves to keep this one close, they're catching even money to cover the 1.5 on the run line. So it looks like Kyle Wright will be taking the mound for Atlanta. Julio Urias for the Dodgers. A lot of early wagering action has been on the Dodgers despite being down 2 games. They actually opened as the $1.70 favorite. And since then, we've seen a 20-cent move toward LA up to $1.90. The Dodgers have won just 50% of their ball games when Urias makes the start. LA's also given up 21 runs in their last 4 ball games. Talk about, getting cold at the wrong time. And speaking of getting cold, a lot of these bats have gone cold in the postseason here for this Dodgers lineup. Justin Turner's batting just 148 in the postseason, no extra base hits, 5 strikeouts. Max Muncy's also got a playoff batting average of just 182, 9 strikeouts, 2 extra base hits for Max. And Chris Taylor is just 4 for 23 himself, 8 strikeouts and just 1 extra base hit. The Dodgers are averaging less than 7.9 hits per contest in the 2020 postseason. They're also striking out nearly 9 times a game in the playoffs as well. They're taking on a red-hot, Braves team who's currently undefeated in the postseason, 7-0 straight up in the playoffs, 4 shutouts during that span. Atlanta's beating their opponents by nearly 3.5 runs per victory. They're also holding their opponents to just 1.8 runs per contest during the playoffs as well. Kyle Wright's on the mound here for Atlanta tonight. He struck out 7 batters over 6 scoreless innings in Atlanta's NLCS win over the Marlins. Meanwhile, this Braves lineup, red hot right now. They've scored 36 runs in their last 6 ball games as well. Ozzie Albies leads the team in postseason hits with 9 of them. He's also hit 2 homers and knocked in 4. Travis d'Arnaud is leading the club in postseason batting average. He's batting .346 with a couple of homers and 8 ribbies. D'Arnaud's also got an on-base percentage of .469 in the postseason. This Braves lineup is averaging nearly 9 hits per contest in the playoffs. They've also been very selective at the plate as well. They're averaging 4.1 offensive walks at the plate per game in the playoffs as well. A lot of great free passes here for the selective Atlanta hitters. Now, one more thing to add about this Atlanta lineup. They've hit 12 homers in 7 postseason games as well. A lot of power coming out of these bats. Now, total-wise, oddly enough, 5 out of Atlanta's last 7 ball games stayed under the total of 9.5 runs. 6 out of Kyle Wright's last 9 starts also stayed under the line. Meanwhile, the Dodgers on the other side saw 5 out of their last 8 stay under the 9.5 themselves. Give me the Underdog Braves plus 1.5 and the under 9 run. Did I say the total was 9 or 9.5? Either way, give me the under in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for, Wednesday's MLB baseball action. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. Now, before we dive into some more free content, just got to quickly remind you once again, we're 2-0 in our last 2 extra daily picks on patreon.com/Brock Page. Access to the extra daily pick costs just $2.99. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire 2020 season in our NFL tier on that site as well. For more information on how you can join in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. And moving on, we're going to take a look at the Rays-Astros Game 4. and that's going to be an 8:40 p.m. Eastern start time. Rays up 3 games to nothing in the series. They're also the $1.45 favorite on the money line. Totals 8 runs. The Astros are plus $1.20 for an upset win. And if you like Houston to cover the 1.5, they're minus $1.45 on the run line. We got Zach Greinke on the mound for Houston. Tyler Glasnow for the Rays. We did see a 10-cent move toward Tampa Bay in the early wagering. They opened up as the $1.35 favorite, now up to $1.45. We're also seeing significant action on the under in this one. Several shops actually have this one at 7.5. So overbettors should be able to get a pretty good number in this spot here. And if you're an Astros backer, chances are you might be able to get a little bit better price point here between now and first pitch. But regardless of